Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here, as always, on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and it's a special Tuesday edition of Renegades Reviews, as I couldn't think of a better day to cover Valentine's Day than on Valentine's Day. Today's movie stars Jessica Alba, Jessica Biel, Bradley Cooper, Patrick Dempsey, Jamie Foxx, Jennifer Garner, Topher Grace, Anne Hathaway, Ashton Kutcher, Queen Latifah, Taylor Lautner, Julia Roberts, and Taylor Swift. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, it's a special Tuesday edition. It is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you lovebirds out there. And I couldn't think of a better film to cover today than the film Valentine's Day. It was always going to be part of my chick flick rotation, but when I realized Valentine's Day fell on a Tuesday, I was like, okay, got to make the exception this week, do a special edition, cover this on Valentine's Day. So here we go. As our movie opens, florist Reed Bennett wakes up and proposes to his girlfriend, Morley Clarkson, who accepts. However, Reed's closest friends, Alfonso Rodriguez and Julia Fitzpatrick, aren't surprised when Morley suddenly changes her mind and leaves Reed just a few hours later. Meanwhile, on a flight to Los Angeles, California, Kate Hazeltine, a captain in the United States Army who is on a one-day leave, befriends Holden Wilson. Now, Kate is traveling a long distance in order to get back home for just a short time, causing Holden to state that she must really be in love to do so. So when the plane lands and Kate has to wait hours for the taxi, Holden offers up his limousine so that she can have as much time as possible to spend with her loved one. Now, Julia Fitzpatrick is an elementary school teacher who has fallen in love with a surgeon named Dr. Harrison Copeland, but she doesn't know that he is married and has a wife named Pamela. Harrison tells her that he needs to go to San Francisco, California for a business trip. On his way, he stops at Reed's flower shop and orders 2 bouquets of flowers, one for Julia and one for his wife, Pamela, asking Reed for complete discretion. Julia decides to book a flight to San Francisco in order to surprise Harrison while he is away on his trip. But she is stopped by Reed at the gate, where he tells Julia that Harrison is still married. Julia then decides not to fly to San Francisco, and instead she visits Harrison's LA hospital, where the staff on hand confirm that he is in fact married. Julia is able to find out where Harrison is dining, so she dresses up as a waitress and makes a scene at the restaurant, which makes Harrison's wife, Pamela, suspicious. When one of Julia's students, Edison, orders flowers from Reed to be sent to his teacher, Julia, while flattered, suggests to Edison that he give the flowers to a girl named Rainey, who has a crush on him. Now, Edison's babysitter, Grace Smart, is planning to lose her virginity to her boyfriend, Alex Franklin. However, the planned encounter goes completely awry when Grace's mother discovers Alex naked in Grace's room. Now, Edison's grandparents, Edgar and Estelle Paddington, are beginning to face the troubles of a long-term marriage. Estelle admits to Edgar about an affair that she had with one of his business partners long ago, and although she is deeply sorry, Edgar is very upset. Grace's high school friends, Willie Harrington and Felicia Miller, are experiencing the freshness of new love and have agreed to wait to have sex. Meanwhile, Sean Jackson, a closeted gay professional football player, is contemplating the end of his career with his publicist, Cara Monahan, and his agent, Paula Thomas. Now, Cara is organizing her annual I Hate Valentine's Day party, but she soon becomes interested in sports reporter Kelvin Moore, who was ordered to do a Valentine's Day report by his boss, Susan, and who shares Cara's hatred of the holiday. Now, substituting for Paula's absent secretary is one of the firm's receptionists, Liz Curran, who dates the mailroom clerk, Jason Morris. Jason is shocked to discover that Liz moonlights as a phone sex operator. Liz explains that she only does it because she has a $100,000 student loan debt that she has to pay off. Jason is visibly upset by the discovery, but he eventually reconciles with her after seeing Edgar forgive Estelle. Sean finally comes out on national television, and Holden, who is Sean's lover, goes back to him. Kate arrives at her home late at night, not to see her supposed boyfriend, but instead her son, Edison. Willie drops Felicia off at home after a date, and they share a kiss. Kelvin and Cara hang out at Kelvin's news station, where they eventually kiss. Alfonso dines with his wife, and Grace and Alex agree to wait to have sex. Edgar and Estelle reconcile and renew their wedding vows. Harrison's wife leaves him due to his infidelity, and Morley tries to call Reed, who is instead beginning a brand new relationship with Julia. Paula receives a call from one of Liz's clients and takes delight in expressing her dominance, all as our movie comes to its end. I had never seen this movie before. It's in the same vein of New Year's Eve, which we discussed and reviewed last year on New Year's Eve. If you missed that review, I'll link it up here for you so you can check it out. But Garry Marshall, who directed this. And as you can tell from the description, it's kind of the same premise. All these different characters and how their lives intertwine with each other. And we see all these shenanigans that these people go through on Valentine's Day. It was really well done, really well put together. The story was coherent enough that even while it bounced from person to person, unlike the description I read to you, you were able to follow everything. You never lost track of who was who and who was where and why they were. None of that stuff. And that's a very hard thing to keep track of sometimes when you have these movies where all these stories kind of intertwine and intersect with each other. You run that risk of, well, who's this? Why are they there? What? Huh? What? And then you have to go back and watch it another time, be like, have the light bulb flicker and click on, like, oh, okay. Garry Marshall did an amazing job keeping everything straight so that we never lost sight of why each character was where they were and doing what they were doing with, you know. It was so brilliantly structured. There's even a few of the same cast members from New Year's Eve in this one. The primary one that I recall off the top of my head is Ashton Kutcher. In New Year's Eve, his role is a lot smaller, This one, he's one of the more focal points of the movie, but still, he's in both. Obviously, I'm not sure which one came first, but obviously Garry enjoyed him in whichever one he did first, that he was willing to recast him in the other one. But it's just a really charming and sweet story. And if you need something to watch this evening with your loved one, being as how it is Valentine's Day, check it out. Give it a watch. You can find it on streaming services. In fact, I bought it on Vudu because it was only $6.99 right now. It was either going to be $3.99 to rent it, or for $3 more I could own it. And I was like, okay, what do I do here? Do I rent it? Because if it sucks, why would you want to keep it? But I enjoyed the other movie that was in the same vein by the same person. So I figured going in, I was going to enjoy this. So I just went ahead, threw the extra $3 down, and now it's in my digital library. I can watch it whenever I want. I don't have to worry about if it's on Hulu or Netflix or any of the other streaming sites, and then it disappears. It's in my own digital collection forever. Again, though, I thought the cast was great. I think it's the first time I've ever seen Jessica Alba and Jessica Biel in a movie together. I could be wrong, but I can't think off the top of my head of any other movie that I have seen where they were together, if they've even done another movie together. So I thought that was kind of cool. Likewise, you had Ashton Kutcher and Topher Grace, both from that '70s show, in the movie together. You had Taylor Lautner and Taylor Swift, who I believe at the time were dating, in a movie together. During the end credits, you had a little blooper reel where they were both on the high school football field calling for the marker, and it's like, it's Taylor and Taylor. I know, it's confusing. So, just some of the inside humor and some of the bloopers after the movie were definitely entertaining as well. There was a scene of Julia Roberts, who plays the army captain, on her way home to see her son Edison. And there's a scene where she's in the limousine. It's a deleted scene, it's in the blooper reel. And the limousine driver, asks her if she's ever done any shopping in Beverly Hills on Rodeo Drive before. And she makes an off-the-cuff remark alluding to Pretty Woman. How, yeah, she did shopping there once before. It wasn't the best experience. If memory serves me correctly, I think Garry Marshall even did Pretty Woman. So you've got that little inside joke there as well in the end credits, which I thought was just adorable. Picked up on it. I understand that reference, Captain America style. So yeah, give this movie a chance, a watch. Again, if you need something to watch with your loved one this evening, this is a perfect movie to do it. When it comes to my rating for this film, I would rate it higher if it had been a movie that I had seen multiple times. So keep that in mind when I say I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. If this is a movie that I had seen 3, 4, 5 times by this point, probably would be a 5-star movie to me. I enjoyed it that much. But I have a hard time rating a movie that I've only seen once 5 stars. So that's why I'm bringing it down to 4 here. But as I alluded to, the more I watch it, the more likely it is to crawl up there in my rating. Those of you that have seen Valentine's Day, what do you think? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in at the top of the hour, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel, as we open up the doors once again to Stat Boys Sports Bar, featuring Dory Lou. The food is hot, the beer is ice cold, and the seats are warm, so pull up a bar stool and engage in some professional sports conversation with your hosts, Stat Boy Mike Caldwell and Dory Lou. Now then, tomorrow, they're going to have a lot on deck. They're going to be recapping the Super Bowl. Going to get to see some of the final NFL power rankings and pick'em results. A preview of the XFL. Some NHL power rankings. A NASCAR preview, as well as some discussion about WWE's Elimination Chamber. And then, later on in the evening, on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, it'll be time once again for Talk Wrestling or Anything with your host, Jeff Meacham. That's right, the flagship show is back on Tuesday night, 7:05 p.m. Pacific Time, 10:05 p.m. Eastern Time, generally right after NXT goes off the air. Again, you can find it on the entire multiverse of media. And then tomorrow, back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, it'll be time for another edition of Renegades Reviews. And we switch tracks and we head into Black History Month as we discuss Harriet, starring Cynthia Erivo, Leslie Odom Jr., Joe Alwaya, Clark Peters, Vanessa Bell Calloway, Vondi Curtis Hall, Jennifer Nettles, Janelle Monáe, and Tori Kittles. You're not going to want to miss out on any of that content and coverage right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, Statboy Sports Bar, Talk Wrestling, kicking into Black History Month with Harriet, a biopic about Harriet Tubman, and so much more in store coming this month with Black History Month. Don't want to miss out on any of it. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Statboy Sports Bar, Talk Wrestling, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of Jessica Alba, fans of Jessica Biel, fans of Ashton Kutcher or Topher Grace or Julia Roberts or anybody else who is in this film. Share it with them. It's the only way we're going to boost up my visibility in YouTube's algorithms so I can eventually get monetized and begin making some money on the hard work I've been putting into this channel for the last 2 years. Thank you once again to everyone who joined me and tuned in here today. It means so much more to me than you'll ever know. Once again, happy Valentine's Day to all you lovebirds out there. I am the Renegade JJ Williams, and I will see you guys next time.